our sales are performing on a category level. We can also do forecasting within Power BI. So Power BI can allow us know that, and this is also something that we also need to learn. There are different types of analytics. We talk about descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics is talking about what has happened in our business in the past, all right? So this is answering the questions, what has happened, right? And then we now talk about, when we talk about descriptive analytics, we now move to diagnostic analysis. Diagnostic analysis is when we're talking about what has happened, or okay, descriptive is answering the question, what happened. Diagnostic is answering the question why that thing happened. So we are at 723 million. We now do a diagnostic analysis. What exactly is wrong with our business and now that is making us fall short of what our revenue expectation and our budget expectation is, right? Now, when we now answer the question why what happened, we can now do a predictive analysis to say, okay, this is what is going to happen maybe in the next window, or in the next quarter, or in the next year, right? So we are predicting what is going to happen in future based on our historical data, right? And then from predictive analysis, we are now talking about prescriptive analytics. So this is actually where you are now affecting the changes of what is going to happen in future. This is where you are talking about, this is where you are changing variables to affect the outcome of what is going to happen. So if I've predicted that our sales is going to grow by 30% or by 20% in the next year, then prescriptive is when we now start to look at what are the elements that are going to influence these changes. What are the products we need to stop? What are the actions we need to take to affect the outcome of our or is a particular objective or a set of objectives in the next maybe revenue window. So this is what this, so Power BI also allows us to predict sales based on our historical data. I hope that is understood. So those are just some of the things we want to talk about. Very briefly, we'll just move to a demo session. So we have like a very short demo session where I take you through some elements of Power BI, and then we can now take questions. Or I don't know if anybody has question by now. We can take the question while I'm trying to set up the demo, okay? So is there any question for now? Is there any question? Is there any question? Before I move into Power BI to show you what we want to talk about today. So this is a typical Power BI window, okay? And then for those, if you don't have Power BI or you've not downloaded Power BI, I can actually go to just search for download Power BI on Google. It will take you to the Microsoft store where you can download Power BI. It's actually best to download Power BI from the Microsoft store, because if you do that, anytime there is a new changes, and there are always new improvements on Power BI. So these changes or updates happen automatically within your Power BI. So today, I just wanted us to quickly look at something, how to connect to a web data and then do transformation in Power BI. So this is Wikipedia, right? And then the search parameter is the list of largest companies by revenue. So we want to look at what are the top companies in the world by revenue, okay? And we can see here that Walmart is leading this chart. We have Sinopec Group, we have State Grid and all of that. So we have like the top 50 companies, all right, by their revenue, by their profit, by employees, and then the country that they belong. So let's imagine I want to use this table in my reports of to do some analysis, okay? Now I'll show you how beautiful Power BI is right now. How you can actually connect live to a web application to get data out. You know that before, if I was supposed to do this report in the typical Excel, I'll probably have to come here and copy this table. If I'll be lucky if this table copy is in the right order. Let me even try it. So let me say I come here and I start. I can't even copy it, can I? Okay. So I come and I copy this table. I'm just trying to test. I've not even tested it. I just want to see if this will even work. So let me open a blank Excel file and let me try to paste this here. It's taking a while. Let's see. Okay, we are even lucky that the format is correct and this thing, but we have to still focus on cleaning this data, okay? Because there are a lot of elements that are here. So let's assume, so I am successful in cleaning this data and using it for whatever analysis it is I want to perform. So when that data changes tomorrow, what happens? So let's say tomorrow, State Grid overcomes Walmart, or Royal Dutch Shell overcomes China National Petroleum, all right? It means I have to go and copy that report or that data from wherever it is to start that whole report and analysis. But with Power BI, I can connect live to this data set and do my analysis. So what I'm going to do is to copy this the link. I also paste this link in the chat box just in case after now someone wants to practice. I will advise you don't try to practice along because you might lose some things. This video will be made available just in case you want to practice. So I've just pasted the link in the chat box now for those that want to use it. So I've copied this link right now. So I'm going to head into my Power BI right now. So I'll go to get data. I want to get data from the web, okay? There are also other sources that I've not talked about, but we'll talk about that at a later date. So I want to get data from the web. So I'm just going to click web. And then, so I can already see that from web URL. So my URL, I'm going to paste it here, which is wikipedia.org/ list of largest company by revenue. I'm going to click OK to connect to this data set. So let's just hold on for this data to connect, and then we can start our transformation. It's asking me, do I want anonymous or Windows Basic, Web API, organization account? I'm going to stick to anonymous for now. For those that are going to be with us, we'll talk about all of the differences between all of this and how to connect with different types of data in the web. There are some data you cannot connect directly via anonymous. You have to use a web API, or you have to sign in through the organization account. So for now, I'm going to stick to anonymous, and then I'm going to connect to this data, okay? So it's going to open up a dialog box or an editor for me to now select what are these. So what it is going to do is that it's going to go to that link and it's going to pull all data that appears to be in a table, all right? So Power BI or Power Query is going to go into that website and it's going to pull all the data that appears to be in a table, okay? So let's just wait for it. It's taking a while. We'll just wait. And then once it comes, I can select whatever table it is I want to work with, and I can head straight into my Power Query editor to work with it. It shouldn't take this long. I don't know why it's taking so long, but we just have to be patient with it. In the meantime, I can ask, have we all seen the link I sent to the chat box? You can just copy that link and just leave it somewhere, so that after now or after this class, if you want to practice, you can actually use the link to practice. Okay, seen. Yeah, all right. Solomon Adelaja, I've seen the link. All right, why is this taking so long? Oh, beautiful. This is it. So what, these are the tables. So it says that we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10 or 15, 12 tables on this. So if I want to do, I can actually click on these tables one after the other to see what are the content. If I click on table 1, table 2, I don't really need to click on all these things because I already know where my table is, and which is in this list edit. So this is my table exactly how it is on that on the web page. Okay, so once I'm done, this is the table I want. I just have to check this box, and then please always try, anytime you have your editor open, don't load your data directly, right? Loading your data means the data is going to go straight into Power BI, right? And then you won't have the opportunity to transform your data. So what you need to do is to always transform data. So I'm going to click on transform data to enter my Power Query editor. So the window I'm on presently is Power BI, right? So once this processing query opens up, the window that is going to pop up is my Power Query editor. Okay, where is it? Okay, beautiful. This is it. So this is my Power Query editor that has opened up right now. I'm sure we can all see it. So it has brought all my tables, right? But there are some elements I need to work on to make this cleaner. First of all, I don't need this first column that says rank, and I don't need this last column that says ref. Okay, so what can I do? I can just do okay, before I go there, let me remove some of these transformation that Power BI has done already for me. So this is exactly how the table is, and I can see description of my data set. I can see that there are 98% valid rows, there are 0 error, and there are 2 empty rows. So the ones that are empty are these ones that are showing me null. I'm not going to delete them now for some reasons. I'll explain later. But the first thing I want to do is I can see that my headers are saying column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, whereas my first row is saying rank, name, industry, revenue. So this is actually supposed to be my this first row is supposed to be my headers. So how can I make this row my headers in Power Query? I'll have to come here and say use first row as headers. So let me do that. So use first row as headers. Can we see? So my headers are now rank, name, industry, revenue, and ref. The next thing I want to do is to remove column 1 and then this ref column, because I really don't need them in my data. They don't add any value. So once I've selected the first column, I can hold Control and select the second column. I do a right click and I say remove columns. So I've done remove columns and then I'm good. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to see is that you can see that this first column here, this row 1 is also saying there are some null values, Then this one is saying USD millions. So what this is saying, from my understanding, is that this 523,964 is actually not the complete. It's saying that this is to be represented in millions. So which means that there are 6 zeros to be added to this data. I hope this is understood. So this is supposed to be 523,964, then 0000000, because it's supposed to be 523. Okay, so that's 523 billion. So this is supposed to be 14 million, but here I'm seeing 14,881. So the data is supposed to be represented in USD millions. So what I need to do is to add the 6 zeros to that. But before I do that, I can always remove these null values because I already know this is what this is saying, USD millions. So I can come to any of the columns. I can come to this column and say, I want to remove empty, okay? So I can say remove empty. So once I've removed empty, so that is gone. I can now see that all of my data are 100% valid, right? 100% valid, 100% valid, 100% valid, right? So the next thing I want to do is to convert this to, I can see that this is in text, right? I want to convert all of them to numbers because that is very important in Power Query. So if I to change the format, I can click on this ABC and say I want to change it to what? To all numbers, and see what happens when I do that. I have errors everywhere. Wow. all of my data turn out to be errors. I don't know. Okay, let me just ask question. Does anybody know why my data is showing as errors? Let me just take a one or two responses. Why I'm having errors when I try to change this from text to numbers. Does anybody have an idea why this is happening to my data? So anybody have an idea? In the
I
meantime,
think probably,
okay.
uh, I think probably there is a value there that is not a number, and then
Okay.
it's text. So when you try to convert it, it won't change. Hence the error report, I think.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much. So that is actually a very valid answer. Saying there is something in this data that is not making it return as value. So there's something here that Power Query is not seen as a number, right? So for me to go back, unfortunately, Control Z does not work, or let me say fortunately, because it's not unfortunate, Control Z does not work in Power Query. So if I try to do Control Z, I cannot go back. Wow, some people already say, oh, so what do we do now? But there's something that is bigger and stronger than Control Z, which is the applied steps in Power Query, right? You can see everything I've been doing since morning as come here as applied steps. And then also for people that really want to learn the M language, for every single thing that happens here, there is a formula, or there is a M language code that has been written for you. Okay, so there are times where you want to change some parameters. Yeah, this is actually a very good way. So the best way to learn M language is as you are doing the transformation with your mouse, you can also look at the code that is being written out, and that is how to understand the M language. Okay, so I can see that once I did this, I got an error. So the thing I can do is to remove this change type, right? The last step I applied, let me remove it so that I can go back to what I have. So I'm here. So, and it's also already visible that there's actually $ affixed to all of these numbers, is why it's turning out as error. So what do I need to do? I can select this. Since this already have dollar also, I can hold control and select profit also. I'll go to transform tab, all right? And then I can do this in two ways, right? First, I can say, and the two ways, I'm going to do the two ways so that we understand. First of all, I can use find and replace, okay? So I can come here and say replace values and go to replace values, right? I want to teach you the two ways to do this. So the first thing, replace values. I want to replace the $sign, and what do I want to replace it with? Nothing. So I'm going to leave this place blank. Okay, so I'll click OK, and let's see if that works. Beautiful. Can we see that it works? Now I'm done with that, and I've gotten rid of my $sign that is giving me the problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this step also and use the second method. Okay, so I'm going to remove this step. The next thing I want to do, or another way to go about it, is to come to is it extract? Yes, extract. And I want to extract text after delimiter. So you can extract based on different parameters. You can extract fixed characters, you can extract last characters, you can extract a range, you can extract before delimiter, after delimiter. What I really want to do is to extract text after delimiter. So I'm going to click on this text after delimiter, and the delimiter I want to use is my $sign. So it means that it's going to extract everything after my $sign, and it's going to leave whatever it is that is not before or that is not after my $sign. So if I click OK now, can you see now I achieved the same result? So we can actually do that using those two methods. So the next thing I want to do, I can now convert them to what? I can convert them to number now. Can you see? I can convert this one to numbers, own number. So I'm not getting the error that I got initially. Okay. Why is this taking long? Let's just hold on for it to sort itself. This shouldn't take this long. Okay, beautiful. So I have what I am supposed to get. Now, the next thing, don't forget what I said the earlier time, is that these values are in USD, in $1 million, all right? So what that means that I need to add something to these two columns that is going to show that they are real value, because I cannot be showing 523,964. This is actually supposed to be $1 million, okay? So I can come under the transform tab also. I can go to format again. Okay, let me click on one column instead of two. Let me go click on one column. I can go to this format ribbon, and then I can say add suffix, okay? Add suffix. So I'm going to click on this. Now the suffix I want to add is 60. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is one way to go about it. Someone else might come and say, I want to do it some other way. I mean, it's fine once we achieve the same result. So I've added 6 zeros and I'm going to click OK. That is beautiful. That has worked. I'll come here again. I'll go to format. I'll add suffix, and I'm going to add 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So this is it. 6 zeros. Wow, beautiful, and I'm good. But one thing has happened. This Power Query has converted them back to text. So I still need to convert them back to numbers. So I'm going to select the two columns. I'm going to hold Control and select revenue. I'm going to change this to all numbers. Beautiful. And I'm going to do the same thing for this guy, all numbers. So I have completely transformed this data. Can you see? So look at how this data was from here and how I've transformed it to what I have here. So from what I have here, I can change this title from country node to country. Okay, and hit enter, and I can change this from name to company, okay, company or organizations as you want to talk about it. So company, so this is it. So today we actually ran through this Power Query transformation, okay? So we can see we did all of these steps from the source, right? This is the source. We extracted the HTML table. From there, we promoted headers. After that, we changed type. We changed type from whatever it was to the right type. Then we removed the first and last columns. We filtered out the blank cells, and then we extracted $sign, or we removed the $sign. We changed type again. Then we added a suffix to the two columns, right? The leading zero. Then we changed the types, and then we renamed the columns. All of these are transformations that we have done on this data. Now, if I click close and load this data now, I can now start to build my visuals in Power BI, okay? Or I can write my DAX functions and what have you and what have you. Now, the beautiful thing is that when this data changes tomorrow, or when you click refresh, if that data changes, automatically Power Query is going to run through all of these apply steps again, and then you are going to have the latest version of your data. I actually built something that looks like this using the COVID-19 data. I don't know if time permits me, I can open it, but if not, we can just move on. So let me click on close and apply. Time is actually gone. I'm not sure I can build any visual, but I can just do one or two visual just so that we can see what we have. So my queries are applying now. The changes I made to my queries are applying. I'm supposed to change this listed this name, but I mean, I can still leave it pending when my query applies. So I'm waiting for this to run through. This should not take so long. Maybe my internet is slow. I'm having an error. It says the column rank of the table wasn't found. So let me close. I can go back to troubleshoot this data now. I can go back to troubleshoot the data. My data is actually correct. Everything is correct. Everything is correct. So let me click and load. Let me close and apply again. So in the meantime, we might not be able to build visuals because time has gone. While that is going on, let me just go back to my Power Query, or let me go back to my demo. So from the demo, we spoke about connecting to the data. We spoke about transforming that data. We didn't touch on modeling and working with DAX. But what I'm going to do is that after this class, I'm going to send the Power BI file of the transformation we did. I will encourage you to build your own visuals. All right. So once you build your own, I'll encourage you to start afresh, just like I walk through that data and try to build and clean up that data. But I also send this Power BI file just so that from the data that you have, you can now build your own visuals in Power BI. Okay, so that is that. So I want to talk about. I want to invite you to a training that we are going to that Zetvoss Consulting is starting by this the end of this month, which is the 30th of September. We are going to run you through every single aspect of Power BI, from how to get that data, to modeling data, to visualizing the data, to analyze that data, to maintain, deploy and maintain variable. So we are going to cover every of the scope that is needed to pass your DA 100 exam to earn the data analytics associate badge. So this is what our training that we are starting by the end of this month is really focused on. So we are going to run through every single step of the data of the Power BI journey. So this class is going to be an intensive class. It's going to be 3 hours of learning every day, or from Saturday to Sunday, for 3 weekends. All right, so Saturday and Sunday for 3 whole weekends. We're going to be working with a case study. We're going to review that case study, and at the end of the class, we are going to have a capstone project to work on. The class is actually very cheap. It's just 15,000 naira to cover for all of these learning and the resources that I'll be giving you. So our next cohort is starting 30th of January. The first 2 sessions are going to be from 30th and 31st. Another one from 6th and 7th of February, then 13th and 14th of February. So we are inviting you to join our next we're inviting you to join our next cohort. Like I said, the amount is just 15,000 naira. Our account details is what I've pasted on. Is the link I just shared right now. After this class, you can actually reach out to any of the facilitators to inquire more about the program, to make payments. Once you've made payments, you are already automatically qualified to enter or to secure a spot in the next class. We don't have a lot of seats open. We only have very few to get into the class. So we encourage you to pay ahead so that we can secure a spot into the class. So registration, we are closing registration by 29th of January. There are only 50 slots available. So once we reach these 50 slots, because we also want to manage engagement, right? And to be able to engage properly with participants. So we don't want a lot of people. We only want people that we can manage and we can work with part time. So payment is 15,000 naira. Once you make payment before the class commences, you are bound to secure a spot. So we are inviting you to join us as we unravel Power BI for data analysis and business intelligence. So this is the end of my presentation for now. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Please ask your questions. Let's talk about it. Let's look at it together. And what is it you need to join our class? So in the class, we'll be going through all the steps and processes to become a data analyst. So thank you very much. I don't know if Tolu has any comments before we round up the class.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Fatai. Thank you for that session. I'm so sorry about the technical issues that I have.
That's
so
fine.
it was due to network. So, do we have questions? I think we have only, okay, just Mr. Adelaja left.
Solomon Adelaja, yes. Do you have any question?
Do
Are
you have any
joining
question?
our cohort? Are you joining our class?
Just a minute.
Hello.
You can actually
Hello,
unmute
good
your mic
evening.
and ask your questions. Yes.
Yeah, is it not?
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah, I believe no, the presentation. Yes, for me, I think I enjoyed it. I believe I should be joining the class come this December. Sorry, this January.
The end of the
January.
month. Fantastic.
The end of
Fantastic.
January. Yeah, I believe I should join the class. For me, I believe
Beautiful.
the world we're moving into, just like you said, is a world of data.
Yes.
And just you mentioned something that also triggered my interest was the need for you to. I'm a sales manager. Every weekend,
Yes.
So you
I have
need
to go
this.
back to my our online system. I have to pull out results for what we did this week. I have to now start putting it up on paper,
Yes.
putting it up on what's it called? Sorry, PowerPoint, sending it to my. Even just today, now I'm working on our strategy session for 2021. Again, you have to go back to the system again and start pulling out data all the way from January back down to December.
Beautiful.
You have to start putting. So I believe this will just make my job easier also, where you can just pull up data and you just put it in somewhere, and every week you just have to press refresh and just send it to the man.
Of course.
And you're just doing cool. You know, so again, the visualization also makes you look more professional.
Exactly.
People see you as, this guy has something extra from just going around and helping us promote sales. So I believe I should be part of the class also.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Right,
so I'll leave that to Tolu to follow up with you, and so that we can close and secure the spot. So that's all for me. Tolu, if there is nothing from you, we can just round up.
Not much for me. I think I have the recording for today's session. Not much people join, so I'll send it gradually to everybody we have on the mailing list. So, Mr. Adelaja, I want to know if you get the last recording.
I think you got. Yeah, I sent it to my email. I think I got it. I'm not sure, but if you can resend, no problems.
Okay, I'll send it again with this one. So.
All right. Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Later.